What is up, guys? It is Team G here, and today we're going to be doing another starter squad, this time featuring the Premier League. Now, this is the most popular league in the world, I would say, and definitely for FIFA as well. That's why, at least last year, 81 rated Gabriel Jesus near the start of the game was, had the price around 64,000 coins. Now, was it worth it? For me, it was, because he was an absolute beast, but obviously, you could probably get somewhere, like some player around those abilities, right, with 87 pace, 78 shooting, 87 dribbling, something like that. You could probably get someone like that in other leagues for obviously a lot less than 64k. When you are picking players from the Premier League, be sure to recognize that their prices may be a little bit more pricey. They may be a little bit more expensive than players from other than other leagues. So again, there is a lot of depth here. There's a lot of top quality as well, right? You got Kane, Aguero, Aubameyang, Lukaku, Firmino, Lacazette, Jesus, Vardy, Zaha. You got Sturridge, you got Perez, right? Like you have a good amount of top quality players. And I'm sure there's going to be a good amount of depth as well. I do remember there was one player who actually looked really good, and that's this guy, Joshua King. Because if you compare him to his Bournemouth teammate, Callum Wilson, 87 pace, to 88 pace, 78 shooting to only 75 shooting, 75 dribbling on Wilson to 78 dribbling on King. So to me, that makes sense to go for King. Origi wouldn't be like the worst, I would say. Hopefully, we can get something here. Again, there are a good amount of wingers with Salah, Sterling, Mahrez, Willian, just to name a few. So hopefully, we can find some people. Shaqiri, you got De La Feu. Lamela wouldn't be horrible. Too bad Victor Moses isn't, say, a right back, unfortunately. Shaqiri might be a little bit more expensive because I believe he has 5-star skills, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that Shaqiri actually has 5-star. Yeah, he has 5-star skills for FIFA 19, so that's pretty spectacular. So we may not be able to afford him straight away. You got Nathan Redmond, who isn't the worst. You got Musonda, who's not the worst. Fraser. You got Cavallero, Helder, Costa. So I mean, like these four guys actually right here. There's a lot of good depth there. We'll use Adama. In fact, we'll use Adama just in the starting 11, just because of that combination of pace, dribbling, and physical. Again, there's a good amount of players we can, eventually get in terms of quality. Felipe Anderson would be really good. I think he might be a little bit more expensive, at least starting out. Gray doesn't look that bad. I think Gray would actually be decent. Izquierdo would be good. I mean, you have Richarlison, you have Diego Jota. Elianusi, Bernard, Rashford, Martial, Son are obviously going to be more expensive. Same thing for Felipe Anderson, I think. But even Welbeck would be decent. But let's use Izquierdo straight away, right? Let's use him, see if we can find anything. And again, like that's a solid starting. That's a solid front three, I would say. But given the fact that they're Premier League, they might be a little bit more expensive than if you had players of the same quality in the Bundesliga or, in the Calcio or something like that. Let's see who we can get here. There's a lot of top quality people you can get. Mkhitaryan does not have high work rates anymore, which is actually a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I would really want him to have high work rates. Probably everyone on this page might be a little bit more expensive starting out. Seri might be someone who's reasonable to go get. Kovacic might be a little bit harder to get. In terms of defensive mids, Dushore, I think he would actually be someone who's reasonable to try to get. Definitely higher rated than any other player in the team. So again, that might be a little bit harder to try to get. Let's see if we can find any good like center mid, center attacking mids. Jack Wilshere wouldn't be the worst. Ox wouldn't be bad either. Lerma, actually. Lerma, he would actually be a perfect defensive mid. Torreira, even though, yes, I'm an Arsenal fan, I think Torreira would be decent with that good amount of pace, good passing, good dribbling. His physical is not that great, but, let's take a look at his in-game stats. I believe his defending is so low, or at least lower than what, at least in my opinion, it should be, because of his heading. So his defending stats are actually better than what it seems to be. Right. So let's take a look at his defending. All of his defending stats, except, slide tackle, are well over 73, right? His heading's 32, which really brings it down. But, I mean, this kind of reminds me of Conte in a way, right? Very good passing as well, very good dribbling. I think Torreira is someone who would be really, really good. And 77 pace is very decent for a midfielder as well. So we can actually just slot in Torreira. So now moving on to the defense now, we're going to start off with the left back spot, see if we can find anything here. Not a lot of top, players at left backs, honestly, I'll be honest. Mendy, I think, is the main guy to go with. Well, actually, no, Robertson. Robertson was definitely the main guy to go with. But considering he's 1 plays for Liverpool and 2 is like the second highest left back in the Premier League. In fact, I think a lot of people are going to be going after him except Marcos Alonso because of that pace. He's going to be a little bit more expensive. Luke Shaw would also be someone good, although him being from United, him being English, might be a little bit harder. I think Johnny is someone who, has that good combination of just decent enough stats, but also the fact that, he plays for a team that people might have a little bit harder trying to link up, and being Spanish, while it is a good nation, you could do hybrids with that. It's not English, being in the English league. So, I mean, I think that makes a little bit of a difference. But, you got Joe Bryan, you got Van Aanholt, you got actually Emerson's probably not going to be that great, but you got Masuaku. For right backs, you do have a good amount of options. Literally this whole first row, maybe not Trippier, but I mean, everyone else does look fairly solid. Even Nathaniel Klein, Coleman don't look half bad. Alexander-Arnold doesn't look that bad. There's not a whole lot of other players. Yedlin with that pace, I think is going to be a little bit harder to link up, though. We'll put him in the starting 11, but I do think he's going to be, kind of on that Hector Bellerin level of, in terms of just being with that price because of his pace. Yeah, Zavaleta. So this page, not that good. Not that good. I don't think you'll be able to find anyone decent on after that main first page for right backs. So then moving on to center backs, there's not honestly a lot of good combination of pace and defending in terms of top quality players for center backs. You do have a couple players to aim for, right? You got Sanchez, who looks like to be the FIFA 19 version of Bailly, or the FIFA 18 version of Bailly, or FIFA 17 version of Smalling with those stats. Medium-high work rates as well. Bailly himself doesn't look that bad either. Honestly, he actually looks pretty good. John Stones doesn't look half bad. Ake, not great. Not someone I would, want to start out with, but he's not horrible. I think, with that pace, with that defending, and good amount of dribbling, honestly, that means he has hopefully a good amount of agility and balance. He can make a decent starting center back, hopefully. The center back is the position you're going to have to splash out a lot more coins on compared to other positions because it's not as deep as other positions in terms of quality. And, I mean, there's not really... Well, it's just not that deep. Because, I mean, yeah, you do have, again, Smalling. You do have Rojo, right, that you could try to get for. That you could try to get. And then, of course, you have... the Sanchez, like the Davidson Sanchez cards that you could try to get. But it might be a little bit tougher because they're going to be a little bit more expensive. So just keep that in mind when you are buying center backs, that you will probably have to splash out a little bit more coins for the center backs. So then finally, for the last spot, for the goalkeeper spot, see if we can find anything here. Good amount of just decent goalkeepers, right? Obviously, De Gea, Ederson, Alisson, Lloris, Leno, Rui Patricio. There's some good goalies there. Nick Pope, just 80 overall. He'd be decent. Guaita, he actually looks decent. Actually, Heaton, compared to Pope, just looks better on everything. Better diving, same handling, better kicking, better reflexes, same positioning, better speed. Might just go with Heaton here. And then maybe for a lower rated guy here, I'm trying to look for something. Gomez actually doesn't look horrible, to be fair. Gomez actually looks decent. In fact, compared to other people I'm seeing. So this is the final starting 11 for our Premier League team. Again, we do have a lot of depth and a lot of spots. For the attack, we do have some good strikers here. We have some good wingers to kind of aim for, both left and on the right side. The midfielder spot looks good. I will say the center attacking mid spot may be a little bit lacking. The defensive mid spot is very, very deep. I would say you could put Torreira there, you could put Lerma there. There were a couple other people's, like I think there was someone from Newcastle, I believe, who could be played there. So there's a lot of good depth there as well. For the defense, there's decent amount of players at left back, decent amount of players at right back. Center back, I had mentioned before, you're going to have to splash out a little bit more coins on that just because there's not really a lot of depth there. So you're going to have to try to get one of the more expensive players. Otherwise, you can be playing with a 30, 40 pace, 50 pace center back who's not really that great. So again, really try to focus your coins on the center backs. In fact, buy your center backs first, I would say. You know, find some ones that you actually do like, and then after that, try to build your team around that. And then for goalkeeper, there are a couple decent options, but I think these two just really stood out to me the most, Gomez and Heaton. Like I said, there are some other decent options, but these two by far, I would say, are the kind of cheaper options to really aim for. So that's probably going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any suggestions on any other leagues or any other players I put in the Premier League squad builder, just let me know and I'll try to, you know, get that done for you guys. But like I said, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DMG. Peace.